Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Troy Allen Goliath. Welcome to Trigger Time TV.
What we're covering today is doubles. How I like to practice doubles. Okay, one of the things that we have to kind of figure out in our pistol shooting journey is how much grip is the right amount of grip. I really like doubles because it's one of these drills that we can really hone in how much of our support hand grip or our control hand grip that we need, and how much of our strong hand or our trigger hand grip that we actually need. So what we'll do is we'll negate the draw on this part, but we're going to bring this gun up to our high ready. I like to start with my support hand off at a 45-degree angle. And at 7 yards to a down zero, we're going to press up into the trigger guard, over and through, steadying our sights on target, prepping our trigger. And we're going to start to take 2 shots, seeing what our sights are telling us. All right? So it should look like this. All right, so what I'm seeing is a pretty good, about a 4-inch top to bottom vertical string. All right, so what I can do to improve that is I can be a little bit more aggressive with that support hand and stay a little bit more consistent with how much energy this hand is putting into the gun or the grip itself. The other thing that we have to sort of look at is how we're interacting with the trigger. Okay, if we're holding that trigger to the rear, letting that gun go off, and then slowly letting it go again, and then pulling the trigger again, it's very inefficient. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to reset that trigger underneath the recoil of the gun. Okay, so as soon as that gun goes off, I'm lifting my finger off of that trigger, and I'm starting to prep into another trigger pull as that sight package gets back on target. Should look a little bit like this. We're going to get that up, over, and through grip. Good, so we kept it a little bit tighter there. So what we don't want is we don't want any side-to-side movement. That's a breakdown in technique or mechanic. The verticality of our group has a lot to do with the timing of these shots. So what we don't want to do is we don't want to shoot to some nondescript cadence that's not indicative of our sight package, right? We want to see that dot rise fall and then rise fall again, but we have that expectation of where the dot's going to be, so we can go ahead and start breaking that trigger underneath motion. Now where this kind of changes is when we get it to distance, all right? So if we're pushing, you know, 0.18, 0.22 splits at 7 yards to a down zero, when we get back to that 25-yard range, we have to kind of open that split up a little bit so we can be a little bit more deliberate, a little bit more careful on the target itself. So if I lift this up from the down zero and I go up to the face box on an IDPA target, I've got to open those splits up a little bit. I've really got to be sure of that grip, and I've got to be very conscious of how my trigger is influencing the gun itself. All right, so when we go to the head box, we go from a fairly large circle to a fairly small circle, okay? So we've got to be a little bit more careful with what we're doing on the target. Should look and sound a little bit like this. All right, we're coming up to that high ready. We're pressing up, over, and through grip, and we're breaking these shots. All right. Nice and tight, no side-to-side movement, not a lot of verticality at all, maybe about a 1.5-inch group tall, 1.5-inch group wide. Inside the target perf is what we're looking for. We want to maintain some sort of accuracy metric along with that speed metric. Guys, if you're not working with a timer, you need to be working with a timer. If you're not working on a metric-based target, things that get measured get improved. So what we look like right there, we slowed down to about a 32 split at distance. And when we were up close, we were at about 0.20, 0.19, 0.18, 0.18. So we want to see that modulation from very close up to at distance.
Trigger Time TV is brought to you by Bravo Company Manufacturing, Bravo Company USA, Skinner Sights, Hornady, Navy Arms, Midland Arms, the Western Scrounger, ATAC Defense, ATN, American Technologies Network, and Tacticam.